Facebook have recently rebranded their company to Meta. I think they did this for several reasons. The main two, mostly because the company got a bit of a bad reputation because they've been standing up for free speech in their own limited way in the face of a massive amount of cultural pressure to basically censor more people. And the second reason, of course, was they're trying to move forward to a positive vision of the future and a sort of vision that people can kind of get excited about, I guess. So the big idea behind Meta is they're going to try to develop a sort of virtual reality platform which is incredibly widely used, which can basically use virtual reality equipment or any kind of existing phone or computer equipment, and you'll be able to access this world. You'll be able to hold business meetings or visit unusual places, spend money. I'm sure there's going to be big amounts of virtual shops. You might even be able to create new jobs and whatnot out of this. I have a bit of trepidation, if I'm honest, because Facebook have been actually very, very hot on censorship, despite what people may think. Let's just take your average post that someone might make in response to, say, a Guardian article. So, first of all, there's going to be self-censorship. They know that people they may know or people they may work with might see the post, so most censorship is self-censorship. Secondly, when they type out whatever they're going to type, Facebook will invisibly kind of moderate all of this. It'll scan the whole thing for a policy violation such as what it considers to be hate speech. Also, any images that you put on Facebook will also be scanned by AI to kind of decide what is in the image. You may also sometimes note there are correlating emojis. For example, if you post a picture of fire, there'll be a bunch of fire emojis that are ready to go. So, Facebook is monitoring everything everyone says, of course, and then there's the actual censorship from, say, The Guardian. The Guardian will probably moderate all the comments that they have on any of their posts, so they'll hide a lot of them. Facebook will also decide if it's going to show any comments, so even if you're okay in posting a particular comment, there's no guarantee that anyone's actually going to ever see that comment. And then there's user censorship, so if someone doesn't look at a particular post, for example, Facebook will think that's not a valuable post because nobody's interacting with it, and they might not show it again. So there are layers upon layers upon layers of censorship over everything, and of course Facebook decides what it can show you or won't show you, basically, and this is very, very open to manipulation as well. If Facebook doesn't want to show you a particular topic, let's say Hunter Biden's laptop is a really good example here. This was an absolutely massive story which may have affected the presidency, and yet, mysteriously, none of the news networks really covered it. Maybe Fox News might have, but hardly yet nobody was really interested in this massive story, which, like I say, could have affected the election, and it wasn't widely shared on social media either. And when it was, Facebook will probably say, well, this is going to hurt our guys' chances, and they're obviously going to demote the content. The other thing that Facebook has been doing a lot of, since we're on the topic, is they've been getting certain people and they've been putting them to the top of the list. So, for example, there's an Australian environmental politician, which Facebook absolutely loves. They've decided he is a verified checkmark, and they have them on Facebook now, by the way. And every time he posts anything, even though I don't particularly pay much attention to him, Facebook tells me straight away this is the top of the agenda. They are basically giving priority treatment to certain people, and other people they are downgrading. There are priority people, and they tend to have the correct politics for Facebook. When we come back to the Metaverse, right? If Facebook are already doing all of this kind of censorship stuff, and don't forget, censorship by omission is still censorship, then can we really trust them to build a metaverse when there are already universes which users have broadly created? Users create the assets, users create the land that you kind of explore, There have been people who get married in these virtual realities, and people who build incredible relationships with them. I just worry that even though Meta sounds like a good idea, it's going to be this ultra corporate, ultra censored kind of place where people aren't really free to express themselves at all. The only opinions which are allowed and tolerated and promoted are those of the establishment. It's not going to be a particularly happy or utopian place, because people are not going to be free to say what they really think, and if they do, they're going to be censored and banned through various methods, and this is just not a healthy future. But maybe I could be wrong. Maybe the corporate world coming together to build something new is going to be brilliant and fantastic, but I highly doubt it, because they are going to put so many limits on freedom of expression